Hello and welcome to Byju's IAS. Before we start with our daily quiz, we have an announcement. Byju's IAS is conducting Byju's National Scholarship Test, which is scheduled to be conducted on 31st of October 2021. How do you register? Follow the link given in the description box, fill in all the necessary details, and you would stand a chance of winning some attractive scholarships. Let's get started and look into the first question. With reference to Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, which of the following statements are correct? AIIB is a multilateral developmental bank headquartered in Shanghai. It began its operations in 2009 after the global financial crisis. India is the second largest shareholder after China. Which of the statements are correct? The answer to this is 3 only. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article here makes a mention of Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. Let us try and understand what are these options. When we look into the first option, it says AIIB is a multilateral developmental bank which is headquartered in Shanghai. This is a wrong statement. Why? Because it is not headquartered in Shanghai, but instead it is in Beijing. The second statement says it began its operations in 2009 after the global financial crisis. Again, this statement is a wrong statement. Why? Because it began its operations back in the year 2016. How many members are part of the AIIB? There were about 57 members initially. Out of this 57, 37 were the regional partners, about 20 were non-regional, and by the end of the year 2020 there are about 103 member countries. When it comes to the differentiation, what is the difference between regional countries and the non-regional countries? According to United Nations classifications, all those countries which are part of Asia and Oceania become part of the regional countries, and any other country is part of the non-regional categorization. So what is the purpose of this banking system? Basically, this happens to be a multilateral developmental bank where money is given, finances is donated by this banking unit to all those countries who want to advance, improvise on their infrastructural projects. So kindly remember, the membership is open to all those countries who are part of the Asian Developmental Bank and are also part of World Bank as well. So this is not just restricted to Asia as well as the Pacific region, but it is open to all those countries who are part of the Asian Developmental Bank or the World Bank. Now let's look into the next practice question. Consider the following statements. The Solicitor General of India is allowed to represent private clients. The remuneration of the Solicitor General of India is not fixed by the Constitution. Which of the above statements are correct? The answer to this is both. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article here makes a mention of Solicitor General of India. Let us try and understand what are these options. When we look into the first option, the Solicitor General of India is allowed to represent private clients. What does this mean? We have something called as the law officer. Who is the law officer? It includes the Attorney General, the Solicitor General, and the Additional Solicitor General. What is their job role? They would be representing the government. Since they represent the government, will they be able to take up private cases? Yes, they would be able to take up private cases if permission is given by the government. Since the statement says the Solicitor General is allowed to represent private clients, yes, they would be allowed to represent private clients if they are given permission by the Government of India under Law Officer Conditions of Service Rules of 1987. There are two important rules. One is section 8 of 1 of A. The other is rule 10. What does 8 of 1 of A says? It says that the Solicitor General, Additional Solicitor General, and the Attorney General should be representing the government. But if there are exceptional circumstances where it is very much required that they also have to represent a private client, permission should be given by the government and they would be able to take up the private cases as well. So remember, they can also take up private cases when it comes to the practice of Solicitor General. Now, if you look into the second statement, the remuneration of the Solicitor General of India is not fixed by the Constitution. Yes, this is the right statement. Why? In fact, when you speak about the Solicitor General of India, it is not even mentioned in the Constitution of India. It is only Article 76 which speaks about the Attorney General of India. So the remuneration of the Solicitor General of India is not fixed by the Constitution. In fact, the remuneration of the Attorney General is not fixed by the Constitution. This is decided by the President. So remember, the remuneration of the Solicitor General of India is not fixed by the Constitution. This is a right statement. Now let's look into the next practice question. Which of the following statements are correct? China is the world's largest aluminium producer. Bauxite is the main source for alumina production. Bauxite has been found in all the continents except Antarctica. Which of the statements are correct? The answer to this is 1, 2 and 3. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article here makes a mention of aluminium sector. Let us try and understand what are these options. When we look into the first option, it says China is the world's largest aluminium producer. Yes, this is the right statement. And as part of your assignment, you have to put on the comment section which is the second country and which is the third largest producer of aluminium in the world. When we look into the second statement, bauxite is the main source of alumina production. Yes, this is also the right statement. Aluminium ore is called as bauxite. The bauxite is purified to produce aluminium oxide, a white powder from which aluminium can be extracted, which is why bauxite is the main source of alumina production. The third statement says bauxite has been found in all continents except Antarctica. This is once again the right statement. Now let's look into the next practice question. With respect to National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development, which of the following statements are correct? No investigation can be initiated against employees of NBFID without the prior sanction of the central government in case of the chairperson or other directors. Appointments Committee of the Cabinet will recommend candidates for the post of Managing Director and Deputy Managing Directors. Which of the statements are correct? The answer to this is 1 only. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article here makes a mention of National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development. If you look into the options, it says no investigation can be initiated against employees of NABFD without the prior sanction of the central government. Yes, this is the right statement. Without the permission of the central government, in case of any corruption, in case of any issues and concerns with respect to its operations of the chairperson or other directors, any investigating agency will not be able to arrest them. In fact, they can also not question them as well. If they have to question them, what you require is the previous consent or the permission from the central government. So any case of investigation by the investigating agencies will require prior permission of the central government. Without permission, they may not be able to go about investigating that case. The second statement says Appointments Committee of the Cabinet will recommend candidates for the post of Managing Director and Deputy Managing Director. This is a wrong statement. Why? That is because there will be a body which will be constituted by the central government. It is this body which will recommend the candidates for the post of Managing Director and the Deputy Managing Director. So it is not the Appointments Committee of the Cabinet which will do it directly, but instead a body will be set up by the central government. It is this body which will have the ultimate powers to suggest the Managing Director and the Deputy Managing Directors. Now let's look into the next practice question. With reference to Agenda 21, sometimes seen in the news, consider the following statements. It is a global action plan for sustainable development. It originated in the World Summit on Sustainable Development held in Johannesburg in 2002. Which of the statements given above is or correct? The answer to this is 1 only. This happens to be a previous year question from the year 2016. So the Agenda 21 happens to be a comprehensive plan for sustainable development. This did not originate in World Summit on Sustainable Development held in Johannesburg in 2002. Instead, it happened in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in the year 1992. Since the second statement is wrong, the answer to this would be one only. Now let's look into the fact of the day. The fact of the day for today's discussion is microfinance institutions. What are these microfinance institutions? Let's assume for a moment I want a loan of less than 1 lakh. What would happen? I would go to the banking system. I would ask the bank, dear bank, give me a loan. So what would the bank do? The bank would ask me for the papers. It will also check the credit score as well. It will also ask for the collateral since it is giving some money. If the bank is not getting the premium or the interest on time, after a considerable period of time, it may seize the collateral as well. But what if there is a person who does not have a credit score? What if there is a person who does not have a credit history in the past, or he does not have a collateral? So you require an institution which does provide loans to these people who do not have the credit score or the collateral. Such institution which provide loans to such people is what is called as the microfinance institutions. So what are these microfinance institutions? As the very name denotes, these are the financial institutions which provide loans without any collateral, and they may also provide loans at a very considerable interest rate as well. So microfinance institutions are those institutions, those banking channels which provide loans to people which are generally less than 1 lakh. So these institutions would be able to provide them loans without any collateral, and they may also charge less amount of interest as well. So providing small loans and other financial services so that people become part of the financial inclusion scheme is one of the objective of the microfinance institutions. What are the advantages of these institutions? Basically, if you have to go through the channels of the banking system, they will ask you for the collateral. The interest rate may also be exorbitant as well. But when it comes to the microfinance institutions, they would be able to provide the credit at an affordable prices, but depends also on the institution as well. They may also charge high if the institutions are outside a particular area. But remember, microfinance opportunities will provide credit to the people so that they can generate employment opportunities. It will generate new jobs in that particular area, and at the same time it will offer small loans to the customers so that these micro loans bridge the existing gap when it comes to the credit worthiness in the banking system. So kindly remember, it will help in providing easy access to the credit. It will generate employment opportunities and create more jobs for the impoverished sector in the society. So the microfinance institutions are those institutions which provide loans at an affordable interest rate which is usually less than 1 lakh. It is this that we have to understand in reference to this fact of the day. So this is it for today. Thank you for watching. All the best.